Vansi vibhushita kara navneerdabhat pitamvara darunabimba phaladharoshthat Purnendu sundaramukha Arvindanetra Krishnat param kimapi tat tvamaham na jane Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Divine souls, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Last week, we started to look into this verse 17 of chapter 12. We went through the word meanings. Now let us dive deep into it. What Bhagavan is saying to Arjuna. Yo na hrishyati na dveshti na sochati na kankshati shubha shubha parityagi bhakti manya same priya. The words are very simple and they clearly, there is no big thing to search into the vocabulary of science. They are all very simple to understand. Yo na hrishyati, who neither rejoices. Na dveshti, he doesn't fret. Na sochati, does not lament. Na kankshati, does not hanker for gaining things. Subha parityagi, who renounces both good and evil, subha and asubha. Bhakti manya, full of devotion. Sa me priya, such person is dear to me. When we talk of yo na hrishyati, what happens in our day-to-day life, we all the time have need kind of thing. I need this, I want to have this, I want this kind of, upgrade my lab, upgrade this. All the time in the world when we are, we wish to add on to things. There is a question of need. And when that is fulfilled, then we rejoice, we are happy, you feel very happy. Now this kind of thing means you are associating yourself with sansar, objects, material and otherwise, in the environment, in the world outside, keeps you engaged in that, keeps you attracted towards that. The more and more new gadgets come to the market, you feel like having that, adding on. You already have a good scissor, but when you see another very sharp scissor from Japan on this, you want to add on to another scissor as if to cut more. So the need adds on, and with that adds on your desire to have it. And once you have it, you enjoy. When you do this, simultaneously, the other part comes in, that what you want, you do not get. What you want, you do not have of that quality which you had imagined, wanted to have. So there is a sense of revulsion. There is sense of hatred. Oh, I couldn't get it. I didn't get it. For whatever may be reason. So the two situations are all the time there with individuals who are involved with the world. If you have emptied that spot of need, if the need is not there, you don't desire. You don't think of adding on things. And when that is not there, whether it comes or doesn't come, it doesn't bother you. Beautifully, the same concept has been given by Bhagavan in verse 20 of chapter 5, where he says, Na prarishyet priyam prapa no dvijet cha na judet prapya cha priyam sthir buddh sammudho brahmavid brahmani sthitah na prarishyet priyam prapya. He does not rejoice in getting something pleasant. Na advijet prapya cha priyam, nor it grieves on experiencing something which is unpleasant. Because his firm understanding is sthir buddhi sammudha. His knowledge and understanding is firmly established, and established where? Not in sansar. He is established in Brahma, established in God. He is undeluded. And this is what a bhakta should have. No delusion. Bhakta should be established in God, away from material world. And once you are away from the material world, away from the longing for things, then neither you will have need to rejoice, nor you will have need to have hatred or repulsion from anything. Bhagavan says, yo na sochati. That means he, oh, ye nahi mila, wo bhul gaya, wo toot gaya, wo gir gaya. All the time we had situation where we keep on lamenting. And that situation is not an attribute for a bhakta. He must not have, no sochati, he should not lament whether you have lost something or gained something. You shouldn't get disturbed whether do you think you want it, you desire only, you will not get it. Yona kangchati, it goes again with that, who does not hanker for thing. And when something you have failed to get that, then you will again try to think why we did not get it. The crux of the thing is, Vihaya kamanya sarvan puman sarate nispraha nirmamo nirahankara sa santim adhigachati. That santi, the peace, Vihaya puman sarati, his nispraha is completely away from sansaric desire, and that desire is not fulfilled. Vihaya kamanya sarvan puman sarati nispraha. That is, there is no sochati, no kangchati, is completely free from that. But for that, what is required? That you should be away from desire, thinking desire is the one which is worst enemy of mankind. Anyway, we have talked a lot about that. We must keep on reminding ourselves that we should not be attracted towards worldly desires. Subha Subha Parityagi, it goes together with that if you have something which is good, you rejoice. Something evil, you repent on, you feel repulsed. But that should not happen if you have no desire for that. Then Bhagavan says, Bhakti Manya Same Priya. That is Bhakti Manya. You must be full of devotion. Once you have devotion, you are attracted towards Bhagavan and you don't bother about what is happening in sansara. And that person, Bhagavan says, is dear to me. Now, this concept has been beautifully put in Narad Bhakti Sutra. I know a lot of you would have read this Bhakti Sutra, composition of 84 sutra from Narad. It is a wonderful composition of bhakti and bhakti and bhakti, completely deep devotion is in this book of compilation of 84 sutra, and this is sutra number 5, where he says, Yat prapya na kinchid vangshati na sojati na dvesti na ramate notsahi bhavati. The same situations which Lord has talked about is mentioned in this Narad Bhakti Sutra. He says, on attaining divine love for God, once you have divine love for God, then संसारिक चीजें वो चिंता नहीं कराती, उसमें आप हंसते, इच्छा नहीं होती, उसके लिए चिंता नहीं होता, सोच नहीं होती. The devotees neither yearn for pleasant things nor grieve for losing them. They are not hateful of those who harm them. They are no liking for worldly enjoyments. They are not anxious for the enhancement of their worldly possessions. This is what Narada Sukta also affirms insofar the devotees are concerned. Now let us move to verse 18. Let us see what Bhagavan says in verse 18. He says, Samah shatrau cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayo शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु समः संग विवर्जितः. Samah alike, satrau to the foes, cha and mitre to the friends, cha tatha as well as man apamanayoh in honor and dishonor, shita usna in cold and heat, sukha dukkhesu in joy and in sorrow, samah equipoised, sangha varjitaha free from attachment. So what is Bhagavan saying? In this verse 18, 5 attributes of bhakta is mentioned. What are that person having the following: full of devotion is dear to me, who, number 1 and 2, alike to a foe and friend, in honor and dishonor, equipoised in cold and heat, in joy and sorrow, free from attachment. So you see here, there are 4 pairs of opposite dvandva. So there is opposite foe and friend, honor, dishonor, cold, heat, joy, sorrow. These are pairs of opposites which Bhagavan talks about here. What do they mean? You will see that the 4 pairs of opposite, they are graded in a systemic way. When you talk of friend and foe, you are talking of world outside. So your relation with people and persons in an outside world can be your friend or can be your enemy. That is outside world. Then there are things which comes in contact with your skin, your body contact outside. From outside to contact with your body, cold and heat. This cold and heat has nothing to do with the person's environment, outside world. It is the contact with environment and your body. You feel cold or you feel heat. That is skin contact, which can be favorable. If it is cold, you don't like it. Or if it is hot, you don't, very hot, don't like it. So there is a skin contact which could be favorable or unfavorable depending upon the environment with which your skin gets in contact. Then comes to mind. That means there are certain things in the environment which affects your mind. And when it affects your mind, you get the sorrow or you get the joy. The sorrow and joy is experienced at the level of mind. And beyond that, there are things in the world which has affected your antahkarana, your ahankar, your ego, And at that level, at ahankara level, you have the honor, you feel honored, or you feel dishonored. This feeling with skin contact will not have with the people outside. If it doesn't affect your antakaran or ahankara or ego, honor and dishonor. So at different level, there are things happening which could be favorable or unfavorable. Bhagwan is saying at every level you should be strong enough to ward off the effect which is impacting on you, whether it is the people environment or where somebody has contact with your skin, contact with your indriya, senses, mind, or ego. All of them, you should be away from the reactions which is favorable or unfavorable. You elevate yourself, the threshold of your understanding should be such. You are attached with the Brahma, so your threshold should be so high, anything and everything hitting from environment should not disturb you in any way. What about free from attachment? Sangha Varjita. Now, when we talk of Sangha Varjita, you can say, well, I'm in the world. How can I not have Sangha? There only things the environment will come in contact with me. Forget about everything what is our body. You cannot leave the body aside. Even if you consider yourself to be Brahma, what about the body with which you are there? जीवात्मा को शरीर चाहिए. शरीर जब तक है, सांस जब तक है, तब तक शरीर तो है. But that is what is called sanyoga. They are there. They are with them. With the environment, you cannot, you are moving in the environment. You cannot say there will no snow. Snow will be coming. You say sun, heat will come. That will come. But that is what's called sanyoga, attachment. But you do not get asakti. You should not say that I must have that kind of environment outside. I must have that kind of people outside, which is your favorable, you enjoy. So all the time, if you are associated with prani in sansara or padartha in sansara, they are there with you. You are in the house, that you are there. But you have got children, you have got family, you have got the office, and all the things are there. You keep yourself involved. You cannot get rid of them. But you should not see that this table is good for me. I must have this table. If I don't have that table, I am disturbed. So if you're attached to something, आसक्ति जब हो जाती है, संग उसके साथ हो जाता है, then you are in trouble. If you have sanyoga with that, you cannot get rid of that. They are there with you. That could be okay. But you should not have attachment with that. You should not feel sangha or asakti नहीं होनी चाहिए. So, now asakti रहती कहाँ पर है? This is very crucial thing. We should look deep into it. Where in our body, where in our structure of the body does this attachment or asakti lie? One thing is that the asakti is not in the table. Asakti is also not in the Brahma. Table, things, environment, they are jad. They are inert. Asakti cannot be with the jad. Neither it can touch Chetana Brahma. चेतन ब्रह्म जो है उसमें तो आसक्ति हो ही नहीं सकती है. नॉर आप जाते हैं मॉल में एंड स्टिल लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आर देयर. यू मूव अराउंड, आंखें पड़ती भी हैं तो यू डू नॉट फील लाइक हैविंग इट इफ यू डोंट get attracted towards it. Once you get attracted towards an object, it is you who's getting attached, not the things in them, not on the table or TV or whatever material they are in plaza. They are there, but the attachment is not in Jada. Attachment is not also in Chaitanya. Attachment is where then? They are there in the constituents in the body, which is given in this verse 40 of chapter 3, which says, Indriyani mano buddhir asyadesthanamuchyate etair vimohayat yesa ज्ञानमावृत्य देहिनम. Desire का अधिष्ठान कहाँ है? Where is this desire finding its roots, finding its rooting place, a roosting place, you can call it? Where does it develop? It says it is the sense, it is the mind, it is the intellect. These are the breeding grounds of desire. These are bringing activity in the senses and mind and intellect. This desire spoils the mind, the senses, it spoils the mind, spoils the intellect, depending upon how much guna, satogun, rajogun, tamogun is there in them. That, because depending upon that, they cloud the knowledge and dilute the individual self. So that is important. Must realize that we should develop our guna in such a way that they are driven out from its roosting place in senses, in mind, and in intellect. So what is very important for Jiva? We cannot get rid of Jagata, because as long as you are Jiva. But with environment, you should get what is called Sanyoga, but not attachment. You should not have asakti. On the other hand, you should have what is called detachment. It's called virakti. Once you get rid of asakti, you get virakti, then you get anurakti, what is called love. Love for whom? Love for Jagadishwar. Love for Brahma. More and more you get sanga varjitaha, the more and more you detach yourself from sansara, virakti, then you develop what is called anurakti. You see, we have just heard beautiful talk on prayer from Madhavji, so beautiful explained. You pairing to, if you have a prayer all devoted towards Bhagwan, all love is pouring towards Bhagwan, then you get asakti away, virakti away. But let me say also, anurakti from Bhagwan is showering all the time. जैसे भक्त को भगवान चाहिए, ऐसे भगवान को भक्त भी चाहिए. भगवान भक्त के साथ, भगवान भक्त के बस में होते आए, भगवान भक्त के बस में. सिंग दिस भजन. सो भगवान भी भक्त की ओर देखते हैं. किसकी ओर देखते हैं? और ज्यादा उनकी अनुरक्ति, द लव फ्रॉम भगवान इज शावरिंग ऑल द टाइम in more and more than we feel he is. He is now. We may have turning our mind away from sansara, but Bhagwan has not turned. He's all the time. He's there. You see, जब महाराज जी से हम लोग लेते थे दीक्षा, तो महाराज जी एक अपना मत रखते, विचार रखते थे, क्यों हम से तुम्हारा संबंध हो रहा है, ये तुम्हारा नया जन्म हो रहा है. इट इज योर न्यू बर्थ, रीबर्थ. एंड आई हैव टेकन वाव कि मैं तुम्हारी देखभाल करूंगा. आई टेल यू द what comes from Gurudev is always true. He takes care of us every time. You may be ignoring and getting involved in things in sansara, but I tell you, his blessings are always there.
So true, Dr. Prasad, so true.
You look towards him, it is showering like anything. He has taken promise, and he keeps his promise all the time. That is absolute. So, Bhagavan, sorry about my.
So true.
The जगदीश्वर की कृपा हमेशा बरसती है. His love and Rakti is all the time with us. It is question of जीव, जो भगवान का ही अंश है, भूल गया है कि वो भगवान का ही अंश है, भगवान ही है, संसार में फंस गया है, और संसार के फंस करके संग में पड़ करके अपने को उसने हर संसारिक बंधनों में डाल करके फंसा दिया है संसार में. That Bhagavan says Sangha Varjita. This is Bhakti Yoga. In the Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavan or Anurakti, love for Bhagavan, is top priority. It should be always done there. Sansaric cheezein hai. We have to keep acting with that. We have our family to look after. We have our job to do it. But follow the rules and regulations of Shastra and behave accordingly with Sangha Varjita, divide from attachment with Sansar. Now, let me move ahead. Moving on to verse 19. Bhagavan says, Tulya nindastutir mauni संतुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेत स्थिरमतिर् भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः. Tulya ninda stuti, whether it is censure or it is praise, take it alike. Mauni, silent contemplation. Santushta yena kenachit, content with anything. Aniketaha, without a fixed home. Sthir drid mati, firmly fixed intellect. Bhaktiman, full of devotion. Me priya naraha, that person is dear to me. So Bhagavan says, 5 things talked about here. Says, Tulya ninda stuti, alike in censure and praise. Mauni, remains silent contemplation. Now, when we talk of Mauni, it is not just keeping silent, that not speaking out, that is physical, that is outside. You are not communicating with outside through your speech. That is one part of Mauni. But deeper part is your mind. While you are not using your voice or speaking outside, you should be contemplating within. Mananasil. Mauni, the other meaning is mananasil. You should be meditating, you should be contemplating. Maharaj has spoken quite a lot on Mauna. There is no need for me to elaborate that. But one thing I will tell you, again Maharaj's words. तुम लोग 11 महीने काम करते हो, 1 महीने की छुट्टी मिलती है. He would say all of us that you are performing your duty, 11 months you work, And 1 month you get, that is in India, they have 1 month holiday. Maybe here it is 2 weeks, maybe. That is not important. He says, I work for only 1 month and 11 महीने हमारी छुट्टी. मैं 1 महीने में काम करता हूं और 11 महीने मेरी छुट्टी. वो काम क्या करते हैं? Communicating with Brahma, constant contemplation with Brahma. That is what Maharaj used to do. We will explain that next week. My time is over. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.